Hi, I'm going to talk about some animal facts. Today we're going to talk about elephants and chickens, some fun facts so you can learn about them and learn to love them and respect other species. So, some fun facts. We're going to start with elephants and then talk about chickens. Elephants. August 12th is World Elephant Day. They're obviously herbivores. Yes, big herbivores, as you can see on my shirt. And their relatives are the woolly mammoth and mastodon. Now, here's other facts about their decline. The populations have been in decline due to human activity. 62% in just the last decade or 10 years alone, 62% drop in populations. 24,000 were poached in Africa last year alone. And that's for their ivory. They did the same to rhinoceroses, who are also herbivores, rhinos. Another big, strong herbivore. The tusks weigh about 20 pounds each. And they go for about $10,000 to $15,000 of their value in Asia, the Asian market, the black market. They're always constantly growing, so some places like World Wildlife Fund and other nonprofits will actually cut and chainsaw off their horns so that people won't poach them for them. But they are constantly growing. Now, here are some other facts about them. They're about 13 foot tall at the shoulder level, 30 feet long from trunk to tail. They can weigh up to 14,000 pounds, so over 7 tons. The trunk alone is 400 pounds, but it's very nimble. They can pick a flower without crushing it. And they also can even paint. Yes, elephants can paint. You can look up videos on that. They're highly sociable. Their brain is about 4 times bigger than humans. And they're very social. They'll wrap their trunks around each other like a hug. They're very caring, sensitive, and care for their young. If one of them is in distress, they will all go over and touch them. And if one dies, they'll actually visit the site and mourn, and even stop and pause for a few minutes. And they have amazing memories. There's a saying that elephants never forget. And they grieve. They communicate long distances, and they can even communicate through subsonic rumbles that they receive via their feet and trunks. Again, they're herbivores. They eat about 250, or have about 250 pounds of manure a day, and eat about 300 pounds of food per day, mainly grass, leaves, bamboo, bark, roots, and they'll even eat bananas and nuts. Now, some farmers in very rural parts of Africa actually will put out beehives because they do not like bees. So they're very smart. They have a slow pulse of about 27 beats per minute. The humans is about 80 beats per minute. And a bird, such as a canary, is about 1,000. They can run about 25 miles per hour, so they can actually run faster than us, probably because of their long span and 4 legs. Their skin is full of wrinkles, and it looks like an old person's skin, but it's because it holds moisture. And it's very thick. It's about 1 inch thick. They use, like pigs, they use the mud as like a sunscreen and to cool down. Their ears each weigh about 100 pounds. They're big, thin ears, and it helps regulate their body temperature. Kind of like how we sweat, I believe. Their trunk is used to smell as well. They are valuable to the ecosystem as they spread a lot of seeds, even though they eat a lot, but they're spreading a lot of seeds. They will drink about 30 to 50 gallons of water per day, and the trunk is like their straw, and they can drink a lot very quickly. So that's about it. In the early 1990s, Africa had millions of elephants. Now they're down to only 100,000. as estimated by the WWF, and 700,000 in Africa, and in Asia, elephants 32,000. And you can also look up on the circus how they're very cruel. Phajan, Pajan, I believe it is very cruel practice that they use to train elephants. Finally, what are their tusks used for by poachers? Some think it's a special remedy, like the rhino, which is unproven. They'll use it for silly things like piano keys, chopsticks, billiards for pool, and trinkets. So that's what they're killing them for, and unproven medicines. Now, chicken facts. Let's get to the birds. Bird is the word. One of my favorite animals are birds. Most obviously live in factory farms. Chickens are actually the largest quantity of bird species in America, actually. And my source here is the Smithsonian and Backyard Chickens in PETA, UK. Now, their origin is that they're a subspecies of a jungle fowl from a rainforest origin, part of the pheasant family of native Asia that have been domesticated. There's about 25 billion worldwide, so way more than people. There's 7 billion people that I believe are overpopulated and the most destructive species and invasive. But more than any other bird species, even the smaller cowbirds that you'll see in North America, or the grackles, a little black bird that are in the wild. So they were believed to be first domesticated in over 8,000 years ago for cockfighting. They actually can fly slightly, like over a fence or into a tree. Female chicks, when they lay eggs, they're called hens. Males are called roosters or cockerels. Communication, they have over 24 unique vocals and ways of communicating. They dance, like the chicken dance. It's called tidbitting, where they try to lure a partner or for food calls. The avian flu or avian influenza, the bird flu, can kill a whole flock of thousands in literally a day or two, and has happened in sick factory farms. Look up a factory farm video where most birds come from, and most people eat about 35 birds per year, and nearly all come from factory farms in America. They're very smart. They, like elephants, they can distinguish over 100 faces of their own species, especially, and they have great memories like elephants. So they have color vision just like you and I. They have pain receptors even in their beak. So when they are debeaked, because they're overcrowded by the tens of thousands in these filthy factory farm warehouses, they feel a lot of pain because they're debeaked, and sometimes they'll even cut off the tongue accidentally. Hens will protect their young, so no, they're not chickens. They don't run away. They will protect their young. They don't get scared away. They love to play, run, and sunbathe or dust bathe to help prevent parasites and to clean themselves. All things that are natural, but they cannot do in a factory farm. They have been known to dream and have REM sleep and experiences, according to scientists. They'll eat grass like spaghetti sometimes. Wild birds in the wild will lay 10 to 15 eggs per year. In captivity, due to manipulation, they will lay about 1 per day. And most of them live in a cage for eggs the size of a file drawer or a piece of paper per bird. That's their life in captivity. Look up battery cages and egg production. They are smarter than toddlers at math and object permanence, which means if I leave the room and then come back, they know that I still exist. I just temporarily left, or I'm not in their vision at that time. So they have object permanence, something that toddlers don't even have. They navigate via the sun and can tell time via the sun. Obviously, dusk, they know it's time to go to bed probably. And they're early birds, wake up early. in the wild, they'll live about 5 to 11 years. In factory farms, they just live 41 days to 52 days on average. I think their life is worse than death, so you might as well get it over with. It's good that they don't have to live long term, like the females or the hens that live in tiny battery cages their whole life for years. That's worse. That's misery. There's 452 million chickens used for eggs in America. They're imprisoned in these tiny cages. 219 million undesirable male baby chicks are killed by the egg industry every year. 219 million are killed by egg industry because the males, this breed will not grow quick enough, big enough, and they will not lay eggs because they're males. So 219 million males are just discarded in grinders or trash bags because they're useless to the industry. Egg industry, very cruel. Eggs are one of the cruelest industries. The beaks can bleed. A group of them is called a flock. Feather loss, which is commonly seen in these battery cages and factory farms, is due to stress. So when you see a few feathers, it's due to stress, or obviously wearing up against the cages as well. Their heart beats about 300 times per minute. They mourn for others that they have deceased. The oldest chicken has lived 22 years. They do not pee. They only poo, and their urine or liquids are in the poo. And in the factory farms, they actually live basically in their feces. Let's see, we're just about at the end. Takes about 4 pounds of food to make a dozen eggs. So 4 pounds of crops or grains. And they can live briefly without their head. So that's about it. Those are facts on chickens and elephants. Please share if you like this information. Learn to respect other species, learn to love them, learn about them and their plight. Look up meatvideo.com on factory farms. And please do not attend the circus and stand up against poaching and deforestation and human overpopulation. And please leave birds off your plate and let them be free. Thank you.